Good morning, traders. Today is Thursday, March 3rd. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. All right, well, what do we have happening in the markets today? Well, we have been developing a little balancing area over the last few days in the market. Right around here, you can see that balancing area. And what happened yesterday was we had a double distribution. Okay, so the market was trending higher, and then it broke above that balance area high. Let me just get that pen tool out here. So this is the balance area right here. Okay, and you can see we came up, we had a trend higher, we got above the balance, and then we just rotated basically at that balance area high. Now at the end of the day yesterday, I was seeing that as support. I was seeing that as the market back testing the balance area high, and I was looking for a breakout to the upside. We didn't get it. The overnight came back down into the balance area, or I could just be wrong because balance area is pretty abstract. This could be the balance area high here instead. But anyway, they pulled back down a little bit, and they did a lot of trading around in here. Let me just zoom in. They did a lot of trading in here, which to me looks like very, very strong support. It's not quite a 45-degree angle. It's not officially a 45-degree angle, but this to me looks like the market tried to take, they tried to take the market lower over and over and over again, and they just couldn't get it there. The only other observation is there would be a lot of weak hands that were buying in here. So that is something to note. Those weak hands will need to take profits. So we'll put that in the back of our minds. But we'll say this is a lot of buying. If the market wanted to go lower, it definitely had a chance. And instead, we're now breaking out over the last hour or so. We're now breaking out to the upside. So to me, that stands out as breaking above the balance. We got above it yesterday. We tested it in the overnight last night. And so now we are set up for continuation higher. So that to me is bullish. Okay. The market opening where we currently are right now would also give us a gap higher from there to yesterday's high. That is bullish as well. A gap to the upside is considered bullish. And then what we watch when the market opens, the first order of business, remember we have those weak hands that do need to take profits. So the first order of business is a counter auction to the overnight inventory, which would be trying to fill the gap. So going down to yesterday's high. If they find support at yesterday's high, or they find support anywhere above that level, that is bullish. Okay, that is what we call a gap and go, and that is the most bullish scenario you can get. So right out the gate today, the first order of business is, are we going to get the bulls purely because of the gap, right? Then you add on top of that the breakout of this balance area right here. One more reason to get some continuation to the upside today. Often when we break out of a balance area, we get at least the size of the balance area to the upside. So you'd expect to get at least that much continuation to the upside. So that is also bullish to see. And then the larger downtrend that we've been monitoring on the daily as well. So yesterday we broke out, retested it in the overnight, and we're beginning to break out there as well. So that is bullish to see. So right now, I think it's safe to say the bulls are in charge of the market, and the gap will give us an indication if they're going to remain in control here this morning. So the most ideal situation is either the market opens and immediately starts to trade higher, or it pulls down to yesterday's high, but finds support there and then turns around and trades higher from there. Either of those is bullish. Please smash that like button. Give us a thumbs up if you're excited about a breakout to the upside. And the market is open, so we do have a gap. That is the first order of business. Can we get back down to 43.99? Is there support waiting Only 60 people with us this morning. Please hit me with those thumbs up. If you're in a Facebook group or a Reddit room or whatever, get out there and spread the stream. Get some peeps up in here. Okay, low contract node needs to backfill right here. Good taper on the low, but also don't like the 46 contracts. That likely needs a little more two-sided trade. One play when it comes for gap fills, if it's a fill to the downside, is when the market passes back through the open, you short it there, and then put your stop above the previous high, targeting the gap fill. That is a trade. Scooball, hello to you. Congrats for being the first one. Diego is here. Good morning to you. Chris Yee, welcome. David Glass in the house. Amir, good morning to you. Dean is here. Welcome. Greg is with us. Good arg to ya. Shiver me timbers. Welcome, Ronald. Laser Eye is here. Good morning to you. David V in the house. Phoenix, Charles, you got your 44.13. I did, but I got stopped out of the trade first. I got stopped out like 20 minutes after the market closed yesterday. Those bastards. But I will definitely buy yesterday's high if we get support down there on a gap fill. Sanju, good morning to you. Cyber is here. Welcome. Slim Jim in the house. Good to see you. Ronald, low volume on the breakout? Not terribly. A little less than the last few days, but pretty good overall. All right, and they're looking for that gap fill. So the target becomes 43.9950. And we are looking for support there. Greg H., I'm a new member. Been a new member for a week, and I'm very happy. Well, thank you. If this is the same Greg that wrote me the email yesterday, I appreciate it, brother. I'm going to write you a reply later on today. Trading Donkey, very dangerous day in the market. Dangerous. Do tell. Why do you think? In case we pull back down into that previous range. CCT, good morning to you. Ranjan, good morning. FRM, welcome. Jen, I should have bought the call. You're right. That's funny. Philip, good morning to you. Donkey saying the reason to fear is because the breakout was news driven, so it could reverse. Okay, still one more tick to fill that gap. Greg H., did the Pirate have an overnight hold trade? I did. I was long at the close looking for a pump. And they stopped me. And that was my target right there, this node of volume. Oh, what's that, Charles? Your target was the exact spot where the overnight ran out of steam and where we're currently getting resistance? Yeah. Market loves to test those big volume nodes. Lamus, good morning to you. All right, so that is the gap filled. Here's where we're looking for the buyers to step in, and conveniently we're back at the zero line. So we will be able to see if it is more buyers or sellers from here. Are we going to get support or not? Man, look at the advancers versus decliners. That's a pretty big tick. Pretty big wick, I mean. All right, well, no support at yesterday's high is a little bit less bullish to see. So the market might need to pull back down into yesterday's range looking for support. And there is a lot to be had right in here between 92 and 87. There's a big node of support right in here as well at the balance area high around 82. And then, of course, the last node being the area where they found support in the overnight. If this breaks, we're going much further. That would also be a look above and fail of the balance area. So we'd love to find support above 82 to stay bullish. All right, never mind. There was support at yesterday's high. So that is the most bullish scenario. perfectly backfilled those single prints from the overnight. That's a little bit weak. But that's okay. Trading Donkey says he's stepping this one aside until there's more certainty. Says he'll start trading when the news that the talks have broken down and the fighting continues. Not me. I'll trade a gap and go any day of the week. Powell's testifying again at 10 a.m. Say what? Great. Well, he's not going to say anything new. $777 just saying J. Just want us to brush up on our alphabet. $7.7 Athletic. How much do I pay for the Financial Juice Pro? I don't actually. They give it to me for free. They randomly emailed me one day and they said, "We love your stream. We think it's great. We're going to give you this free software." And no obligation to mention it or not. I don't use the tick strike thing, which I think is the more commonly used part, but the news feed, it's great. Always very up to date, minute by minute, even through the overnight too. Okay, we should be able to get through this resistance here pretty easily if we are going to get a gap and go. So to me, if this resistance holds and pushes us back down to yesterday's high, it'll probably fail and we'll pull in a bit more the next time around. Because a gap and go shouldn't have this much trouble getting back through the opening price. All right, I'm bullish as long as we stay above yesterday's high. Honestly, I'm bullish as long as we stay above the balance area high, above 43.82, in terms of I won't be looking for any short trades unless we pull back into yesterday's or back into the previous balance. But that is a gap and go. Not great, but acceptable taper on the low. And they're starting to get those ticks back above the zero line. A lot of people are looking at that breakout. I'm not the only person with that downtrend drawn there. Now, some people might have it drawn to this high, in which case it's upcoming. But anyone who has it drawn like I do, they see the breakout. McStockster, I play those sweet seizure-inducing sounds all day from the tick strike. That's good. Yeah, I have had people in the comments before mention that they love it. I certainly can't use it. It's too distracting for me. Phoenix, what about the next higher downtrend at 44.60? Yeah, I mean, there'll be some resistance there. Is that this one? Yeah, I think we'd actually probably hit it about 45, 50-ish. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be resistance there too. But as far as this balancing area, we're definitely above it. And as far as this trend line, we're definitely above it. So I should think we would at least get, you know, a chance to test that. Oh boy, testing yesterday's high once again. Looking for support. All right, well, I'm going to go back to neutral with there being no support there. But like I said, I would not short this until we get through the potential support down here, because there's going to be a lot of support in here. Ooh, terrible taper at the low here. That needs some more two-sided trade. So I do think we need one more push lower. Looking for support around the overnight halfback, 43.9250. Trading Donkey, watch for the repair of the February 9th to 10th, or sorry, a repeat of the February 9th to 10th breakout attempt. Short the failure at the trend line, should pay handsomely. So he's saying on the daily, if we do pull back down below this trend line, we don't quite have the same channel that we had back then. Whoops. Never mind, actually. Delete what I just said. What he's saying is this right here. If we get another one of these where we looked above this downtrend, but then we pulled back down below it, he's saying to go short there because we might get another one of these. A big dump as a result. And I would agree with that. If we pull back down into this balance area here, the target would become the opposite end of balance. But not yet, my friend. The bulls are still fighting. All right, we're testing that halfback level. First big node of volume for support from yesterday. NQ starting to break through the 20 moving average on the 15-minute candles. That's a bit bearish to see. All right, well, there's a lot about this I don't like. I don't like this one random big node right here. I don't trust that. And I don't like the 62 contracts at the low. So I don't think we have found good support yet. I'll change my mind on that if we get back through this node of what will now act as resistance just below the opening price. So if we can back through the opening price again, I'll get bullish. But I don't think that was the support. Jitten, isn't every day weird lately, Charles? There have been a lot of those. I will say probably 1 out of 5 days I find myself describing it as like, this is really weird. I don't understand why it's doing this. JTrader PMI numbers in 3 minutes. That could cause a little bit of volatility. Nor Auto Trader in the house. Good morning to you. Amir, are we going to watch Pal get bombarded with stupid questions? I might turn it on my other computer, but I don't want to watch it like we did yesterday. I already got bored like halfway through it yesterday. I was like, okay, these are the dumbest questions. All right, so it looks like we're heading down to test that support now. Starting to feel a little bit bearish. Not necessarily bearish isn't really the right word. It's just starting to feel less bullish, less and less bullish. A gap and go type of trade is about momentum. It's about like people feeling like they don't have a chance to buy the dip. They're just so desperate to get in. Every chance they try, the market just pushes higher. And so this continuing to dip back down and keep retesting support over and over again, whilst it's holding, the more times it does it, the weaker and weaker it's becoming. They're going to lose the momentum. So if we do get resistance once again, trying to get above this overnight, trying to get above the opening price, and we just can't get above it, that would be shortable to retest this support once again. Like I said, they're getting weaker and weaker if they can't break through and get some upside continuation. Plus, we only have 62 at the low. I usually like to see at least 100 contracts. Yes, sir, Phoenix. We've talked about that one before. It is a weird difference in us. But I have found it's one of those things. It's like some rules that I have, some things that I look at like that. It's almost hard to teach because of how different I feel about it on a case by case basis. Like some days I'll see less than 100 contracts at a low and I won't care at all because other things will make it feel like a good low to me. But the combination of all of those things I mentioned earlier, this weird random node right here, the fact that we have less contracts here than here, so that's bad taper, and the 62 contracts, just like to me this time, seems like, yeah, we need to revisit it. But yeah, it is funny how he uses that as a signal for bullishness, and I'm like, nope. All right. Well, as the market is pushing its way lower, got a poor low, so we would expect a push away from that poor low. As the market is pushing its way lower, it is pulling the value area lower and keeping it right up against the lowered TPO of the day. So that's a little bit bearish to see. If 88 breaks, look to test 82. And somewhere in this area between like 84 and 78, I'd be looking for support. Good, strong support in there. Oh, man, but not in the internals. So you got the breadth back in the negative. Advancers versus decliners just look like terrible. And the ticks are now trending down and below the zero line, so that's bearish. To me, the short with size is breaking the overnight low. I mean, you could short it anywhere in here for the momentum to the downside. But if you really want to go for the look above and fail, target the opposite end of balance, that's the safest trip right there. Because the market could still find support in here and then work its way out. If you wait for that and then really get in, that's the trade. In my humble opinion. Donkey says 67 is the short. 60, bro, that's exactly where I was saying. Great minds think alike. But Charles, we didn't get the gap and go. Shouldn't we just be super bearish right now? Like, they gapped higher and they didn't get that exuberance. They didn't get that excitement. Well, no, not really, right? Because remember the behavior of the market all afternoon yesterday, right? What did we do? We just rotated up and down in here. Rotated, 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 right? What did they do in the overnight? Rotated and rotated and rotated and rotated. So you don't really have to get bearish pushing into these areas because all of that could act as support. The momentum is to the downside, but to me it's just not bullish more so than it is bearish until we get through this. But bad taper on the low increases the odds. We need another push lower. Chitin says, I think we find support here and just do that zippy thing. Just because everyone wants the short. Could be. Get them short so that you can squeeze them out. Philip gap fill on the queue. Yeah, I mean a long time ago. Yes, sir. Back in the A period. Or do you measure your gaps to the previous day's close? Actually, you opened. Oh, never mind. Yeah, that would have been it. So same exact thing with the NQ here. I would just say overnight low. That's the sort of last area where you might find support. If that breaks, the previous day's low becomes the target. If they break 150, 14,150, look to 13,950. A lot of support in there, though. I have to wait and see. Jitten thinks that we're trapping the retail short so the market can go long. White's Gamer thinks that we are currently getting ready to go higher to trap retail to bring it back down. To me, the first makes a lot more sense. Arthur, are we down 20%? 20%? No. Last I checked, it was like, what, 8% or something? $8.6 from the all-time high. Phoenix, better taper at the lows, but still sub 100 contracts. Yes, sir. Doesn't feel at all like buyers stepping in. It doesn't feel like support. Not yet. Oh, yeah, look at those ticks. Still trending down. Everything's trending down. See, Slim Jim, that's where we disagree. I have a feeling if Powell said we're all going to die, the markets would be at all-time high the very next day. Da-dum. Da-dum. We're getting down there. We're testing the support. Is this breakout gonna hold? Scoobo, I feel like a failed breakout. Well, that's not happened yet. The market generated information is showing us price is still above that breakout level. So that's not market generated information giving you that signal. Boss man, the advanced decline is steadily going down. I wouldn't even call that steady. I would call that steeply. It's like a rocket ship, but a rocket down. Screwball, price hasn't shown it yet, but the internals are. And we had the failed gap and go scenario. That's fair. I won't begrudge you that. I would just warn you if you're going to short it here that it could be a face peeler. If they find support and start to bring in momentum to the upside, they can go. Bossman's first time here. Well, we're happy to have you. Welcome. All right, so with the repair of that weak reference, this is the moment the buyers must show up. Do or die if you want to buy. My oh my, right when we get a liquidation. Oh, but who is it that buys liquidation breaks again? Oh, yeah. Greg, what is the weak reference here? We took it out. There was a weak reference we'd left behind from yesterday. I think it was the M period low. Yeah, that M period low was weak because it was one tick from the K period low and one tick from the D period high. But we have now repaired it. All right, buyers, this is your moment to shine. You can save this market. You can save this breakout. Oh, buyers. Okay, so yeah, I mean, just thinking about it once again, I just want to keep reiterating the importance of this area and how this is the spot where the buyers could step in for a big push higher. But if it fails and we start to break below here, if we print the C period and we start one time framing lower, it's quite the opposite. Things get very bearish below these levels. All right, printing the C period here increases the odds that we would need to backfill these single prints to the upside to get to the base of the B period single prints. If we do break the B period low, we begin the process of one time framing lower, which is bearish. And so to begin to get bearish right at the final support the market has, not super good. So that is pretty much the advice that I leave you guys with. Above the overnight high, above the overnight low, I'm looking for continuation higher. Below it, I'm looking for continuation lower. Well, Charles, what about door number 3? Can we just rotate inside this range the rest of the day? It's possible, but to me, that's the least likely. I think the market is coiling right now. It's getting ready to burst. This whole area is coiling. So is it going to burst up or down? That overnight low will tell the tale. Exciting times. Market profile nerds are just going nuts right now. Oh man, a liquidation break right into the final support at the breakout. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen? All right, looks like the first order business might be backfilling those single prints. With that, I shall bid you all farewell. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 53 likes. If you felt like pushing that thumbs up on your way out, I sure would appreciate it. And I will be back tomorrow morning for the open. If you're a member of the brigade, head on over to the private stream. If you're not, you can join anytime. There's a link in the description. It's only $10 a month. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.